Okay. First of all, it has been freezing cold over the last couple of weeks, or a couple of days especially. It was like 2 weeks ago, it was like 50 degrees. But it has been well below freezing all the time now. So coming up here, our peacocks are actually looking pretty good. Say hello, everybody. This is, we've had to break ice out of our little thing every single day. But so this is the little white peacock. He's the actual peacock. He hurt his leg a while ago, and I wasn't sure he was going to make it, but he seems to be doing just fine. Let's see if we can get up close to him. Okay, yeah, so they're all a little frightened, but even our India blue guys, their trains are starting to come in, as you can see. So they are like really fresh and new. Because when we first got these guys, their tails were about half as long as they are now. So they are coming along nicely. Then, of course, we got the badonkies. I just love them so much. They are so cute and so sweet. We did a little hoof picking this morning, cleaned out their barn, which is looking good. They do a lot of pooping in here, but we were able to use our like sawdust as some of the bedding here, which is nice because it's free and inexpensive. I gotta bring them some more later. Hey ladies, how you doing? Hey. Hi girlies. Sometimes when you come up on them, they're a little scared. We also, because we did the hoof picking this morning, they're not like, that's not their absolute favorite thing. But they are just so sweet and cute. Huh? What do you guys think? So we've actually had the vet out, I think 3 times now, to finish up their vaccines and stuff. And so they are all set and good to go. They're on like they have a bunch of yearly vaccines and then some semi-annual vaccines. So the vet will have to come out twice for them. But since we have the alpacas on a yearly schedule too, it's not that big of a deal. And then of course we have our girlies here. I recently did a big clean out of this pen and they've done a good job filling it back up. But I still have some stuff over there that I'd like to chip to get some wood chips for their barn. And then hopefully one of my projects for this year is to get the fence, hi Silver, to be all wood all the way around. So I have to do a lot of milling this year. Gonna be very busy. Hey ladies. Oh, look at Coco Loco looking a little dirty. But yeah, so these are the girls. They're all doing well. Right, ladies? Looks like Aspen might actually need a haircut. That's funny. Kenny must have heard me blabbing. Hey, buddy. Yeah. The only cat I've ever known who likes belly rubs. What do you think? Catch any mice today? No? You just snuggled with them? Sounds about right. All right, let's go say hi to the chickens. All right, so while we're down here, so everything has been going good with the emus. The only problem is we still have the female separate from dad. And so the problem that creates is that we're not gonna have fertilized eggs yet. And it is getting to be the season any time now. So basically in here, you know, we have the little guys and then we have dad. So dad's right here and the little guy's running around. So we currently have this separated into 3 sections. This big one right here for dad and the little guys. And then we have one other section right there and then one where the female's at. So I was sort of wondering if we wanted to try to see if we could get dad and the female. Maybe we open this up so that it's one big long section and we leave the little guys on this side. See if mom and dad want to get freaky. We'll have to see. But it would be nice if they could, so we can get some hatching eggs from y'all. But we will have to see how that goes. Winter is my least favorite time when it comes to farm animals, especially these guys down here, because they're so far away. Shh. Because that means I have to break ice every single day. And there's a lot of ice. And usually I would just leave this sort of piled up on top so that when it melts, it just goes back and turns into water. But it's been so cold that none of this has been melting. So I also have to go in here every day. And as you'll see, break the ice out here. But the chickens have all been doing well. We talked in one of our previous videos about how we can add roofs to the runs, and Kat actually had an interesting idea to make it a round roof, which I think we'll actually be able to do, because as I talked about in the other video, like these are not structural really posts, but because they are connected at 4 points, they actually are, because all of these posts that go up get tied back into the main coop structure at some point. So you can see like that post in the back there, you know, it's just on the ground, but it's attached to a big, thick bottom, like a top cut thing that is then connected to the coop. So it is actually pretty strong. And then I think, you know, we would take sort of, we would cut, I don't know how exactly we would do it, but we would cut like a semicircle of like plywood, or if I'm able to mill a you know, wide enough log. Probably easier to just get plywood though. And then we have like a curved metal roof, and then the roofing goes that way. So that way, you know, it sort of takes the load off like one direction, because if we just have it like a flat roof that matches the angle of this roof here, then when we get like way down to be, it's like just gonna be not enough room for me to walk in. So anyway, we're working on that. Got the boy alpacas here. How we doing, dudes? Good? How's your hay? Delicious? Glad to hear it. All right, so now that I've shown you all our little animals and stuff that's going on around here, time to get into the meat of this video and help me clean up my woodyard. Let's get to it. So, in today's video, we are gonna be doing some organization and other stuff down here. So as you can see, we are in the woodyard. This is my Woodland Mills HM136 Max sawmill. And as you can see here, it's a mess. So now I have all these pallets. These pallets are here from when we had a friend of ours who, in exchange for letting him store his firewood here, he helped us clear a lot of land, which was great. But then when he left us a ton of pallets. So I have a bunch of these over here. I also have just some other stuff. So we end up with the sawmill with a lot of scraps. So one of the things that I want to do is I want to sort of get more organized, because last year, end of 2024, super busy, just doing a whole lot of stuff, trying to carve enough to have enough for our shows and all that. And so didn't really have time to be super organized. I did build this little slab rack over here, but as you can see, it fills up, and then still got to take care of it. So what I'm going to try to do is come up with a way to sort of organize this so that it's easy to clean up, easy to take care of. Because the last thing that I built was the barn for our donkeys, which came out really well, pretty happy with it. And I ended up with some hardwood scraps over here because I ended up running out of like good millable pine logs last year, because I used pine logs for fencing and stuff like that. But so, you know, I have a bunch of these oak scraps, which are gonna make great firewood, but you know, they're sort of just in a pile of stuff now. I also end up with some random pieces that, you know, those are not exactly 2x4s, and those are not exactly 1x8s, but they're close. And you know, it's like one of those things where when I'm milling a blank or I'm milling lumber, I end up with some pieces that are like just close enough to dimensional lumber, but not exactly. So I need a spot for that. So basically, what I'm looking to do is create an area where I can put potential firewood scraps, an area where I can put potential carving scraps, because I do end up with some like top cuts like that I can actually use for carving. And then I need a spot for scraps that are just no good for anything. And then a spot for lumber. So I'm also planning on doing a lot more fencing. So like as I'm milling for carving blanks, or if I'm building something specific, you know, sometimes I'll end up with a piece that is not going to be useful for what I'm doing right there, but I'll be able to get some 4x4s out of it. And since I know that I'm going to be doing fencing, I need sort of a longer-ish term place to store that kind of stuff. So like, you know, I have just these areas over here that are just not very useful. They're not really doing anything good for my space, so I want to get those cleared out. These logs I have right here, I'm going to use for carving. And then, you know, I have a couple areas where I'm storing logs, including like way over there. And I have these cedar logs over here that I got to get up off the ground. So got a lot to do. Enough blabbing. Let's get to work. Oh my God, it's so cold. Okay, so I went through that big pile of cedar that I had up here, and I basically separated the stuff that I can just carve directly right here versus the stuff that I'll probably mill up here. And now, the great thing about the log grapple that I have now is that it's much easier to stack logs. And so you can see I also just put another set right here. I have some pine logs up at my drop zone that I need to bring down. But anyway, it's so much easier to stack logs with the log grapple, because before, when I just had the pallet forks, you just gotta kind of roll it off and hope that it lands in the right spot. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take care of all this stuff. I'm probably just gonna put it, I have a couple long blocks right there. I think I'm just gonna stack it right there for now. And then I'm gonna bring anything that I can't use down to a little fire pit area that I have, and probably use some of this for just firewood. But so I'm also gonna set up a little area for where I can store the firewood stuff. And I don't know if I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to use this. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna take a look around and see what I can do, and I'll check back. Oh, all right. So I just found that my other camera was not really recording a whole lot, but so I'm not even sure that this is going to make it into a video. But so here's where we're at now. So we are looking much cleaner over here. You know, it's hard because the ground is so frozen. Like, I have a bunch of these ruts that I really would like to get rid of, but I can't. So this is the pile of lumber that I had. I have 16 4x4s and then a bunch of other miscellaneous pieces. And yeah, so we are looking much better over here. Excuse me. This is the pile of cedar that I have. And then that's the pile of firewood. Obviously, it's not very pretty. I'll still have to figure something else out for that. I have some IBC bladders up top that I don't really feel like bringing down quite yet. So basically what my plan is to sort of use like these two blocks here sort of closer to the mill, and that way, you know, whenever I'm milling hardwoods, I can just put these two things out, and then when I'm pulling the top cuts off, I can just stick them on there, and then when I'm done for the day, pick them up with the log grapple and then chainsaw them into like little IBC bladders like I have this one over here. Then that way I can either bring them over to my firewood station or bring them somewhere else. I don't know. It's been a long day. It's really freaking cold out here. And I think what I'm going to do for the rest of the afternoon is just, I got one big pine log over there. I'm going to see if I can mill that down into some little bear blanks so that I'm ready to start carving tomorrow. And then after that, I'll probably work on bringing some of the logs that I have up top down here. Now that I have this area out or cleaned out, I guess I got a little more to do. It's always such a mess and I don't have enough time, and it's freaking freezing out here, man. But anyway, if this does make it to a full video, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.